CNBC-TV18 and Elastic present Forge the Future, elevating AI native enterprises in India with Search AI.
Welcome to CNBC-TV18 and Elastic presents Forge the Future, elevating AI native enterprises in India with Search AI. In this special conversation, we delve into how next-gen technologies like generative AI, real-time analytics, and intelligent search are reshaping the backbone of enterprise innovation. At the center of this transformation is Elastic, the search AI company powering mission-critical outcomes across global industries and now helping Indian enterprises become truly AI native. Joining us today is Ashutosh Kulkarni, the CEO of Elastic. From redefining enterprise search to securing digital ecosystem and unlocking the hidden value of unstructured data, Ashutosh brings a front-row perspective into the tech shaping the future of work, security, and scalability. So let's get this conversation started with some perspective and insights from Ashutosh. Ashutosh, great to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's start things off by looking at the very identity of what Elastic is. You are the search AI company and you have firmly established yourself in that space. But the question is, how does that identity shape your product and innovation roadmap? What would you say?
So, like you said, we describe ourselves as the search AI company, and fundamentally, the way Elastic started life was through an open source project. It's a technology called Elasticsearch, and like it's in the name itself, it was all about search. What we have always specialized in is unstructured data, messy data. That's always been one of the hardest things to analyze and get value out of. And just like Google transformed what it meant to search on the internet, Elastic transformed what it meant to search within your corporate data. Like that was our core thesis, that was our core strength. Now that data has always been voluminous, it's been massive in scale, but it's always been the least appreciated, the least automizable. And with AI, that was something that fundamentally changed because AI now allows you to reason on data. It allows you to inference on data. And taking the search functionality that we have, we can now marry that with AI and allow you to interrogate, introspect your information like never possible. And that's been just a game changer. So everything that we do is based on this notion of search. Through that, we've been able to help in areas like cybersecurity, because cybersecurity is fundamentally a data problem. You are sifting through massive volumes of data to try and understand where are the hidden threats. We've been able to help in observability, where we can help you understand what might be causing slowdown in your applications. And we've been able to help e-commerce companies, we've been able to help banks, we've been able to help telcos, large government agencies around the world, to the point where now, over 55% of the Fortune 500 is customers of ours. And, we have a thriving business here in India, which as a country that's now one of the largest economies in the world, is trying to leverage AI to drive digitization here. So it's an exciting time for us.
We'll get to know more about the India opportunity from you, but getting to the core of what is going on, from input to inference to retrieval. When we look at search, it's the bridge of the digital enterprise, as you have so succinctly put. Now, the question is, as you mentioned, these different sectors, we are in the age of generative AI. And from the information that you have given me, I guess you could say the gold mine is within the enterprise. You don't need to go outside. There's a lot of value to be unlocked.
That's right.
So now the question is, as the nature of sectors differ from BFSI to telecom to manufacturing, how are you helping these enterprises unlock the value of their data through search?
Yeah, I'll give you a few examples that might try and bring this all together. So, take an insurance company that historically has had all kinds of information about their customers. And all of that information is in the form of documents, right? So every time you submit a claim, there's a document that you have to process. There are pictures that you have to take if it's an insurance related to a car or your house or what have you. There's information about where your house is located, what are the potential threats like floods and fires and so on in those neighborhoods. there is so much information that that insurance company has about your property that is in this unstructured format that historically they have never been able to analyze. This Australian customer, this bank, has now made it possible through the use of AI and automated inferencing on the documents that you submit to allow a customer to open an account within 30 seconds. That is a complete game changer for that customer. It is such an amazing experience, and the bank's growing faster because of it. So whether it's manufacturing, whether it's pharma, whether it's government agencies and the services they provide to citizens, AI is fundamentally changing how you access, how you interrogate, how you learn from, how you reason from all of this data. And it's basically the fastest transformation in a technology that I've ever seen in the last 30 years that I've been in this space.
Little did we know when things started that it would move so fast. But in terms of the sheer changes that are taking place, in terms of financial products, sure, I see the financial services sector as the vanguard of innovation because you need to be engaging with your customers. But when I look at manufacturing, from automation to autonomy, that journey has been so rapid, it wouldn't have been possible early on without what we have is AI. The other thing it wouldn't have been possible on is the talent pool, which India has a significant portion of. Now, the question is, how is this country enabling Elastic's global growth and innovation journey? What would you say about that?
So, I grew up in Mumbai. We're recording this in Mumbai right now. I grew up in Mumbai. My family is still based in Mumbai, so it's always wonderful to come back here. So I might be biased for that reason. Having said that, as a business, we think about India in on three different vectors. First, as a growth market, right? So we do business internationally around the globe, and India is one of the most exciting countries right now just because of the rapid expansion of the economy, the digitization that's driving everything in India. When I think about Aadhaar, and I think about,
the Jam Trinity.
Oh my gosh, the payment systems and everything that has been done here by the government over the years has completely transformed this economy. So the second largest number of employees of any country in the globe for Elastic is right here in India. We have engineers, we have people that work with our customers, we have folks that work in finance and marketing, every function represented here. And then the third vector for us is, when you think about these global competency centers, that some of the largest brands around the world, big banks, big telcos, big manufacturing houses. I was telling somebody that a Japanese major e-commerce vendor, I met one of their most critical decision makers here in Bangalore the last time I was here, because they have a big GCC here. The same with one of the top 3 largest banks in the world. I've met some of their decision makers here. So we do a lot of our business here, not just with Indian companies, but also with representatives of global brands who have big GCCs here. So it's pretty fascinating, and AI is everywhere in the conversations that I'm having with these customers.
And also it's the sense that in terms of scale, if it works here, it can work anywhere. So you find all the top players here converging here, in a sense, making India an innovation hub for the world. We'll expand on that. But before that, let me get the pitch from your side. When we look at Elasticsearch AI, it's been described as open and flexible. Those are important traits, of course, in a very highly fragmented tech landscape. So the question I have for you is, how does that translate to real-world advantages, especially when it comes to CIOs or CTOs evaluating AI search platforms?
The way the world is moving, every country, every organization wants to make sure that they can control their own destiny. And that is very true for not just government agencies here in India, but also major enterprises in India. India has some unique challenges. There are lots of languages spoken here, which means that when you think about AI, the multilingual aspect of that is incredibly important in India. Multimodality, because oftentimes people prefer to communicate using images and so on is incredibly important, especially because privacy and security matters a lot to them. They want to run things in their own private environments. We want to be able to support them. And that's been our mantra. We don't force you to use us in the cloud. We allow you to run our technology in your own data centers or as our cloud service. We are agnostic in terms of the models that we support. So if you want to use an open source model like a Llama or a Mistral, absolutely. We will also work with every model vendor that's out there, whether it's from the 3 hyperscalers or from NVIDIA. We work with all the major hardware OEMs. Fundamentally, it's all about choice. If you provide choice, that becomes a big differentiator. If you have a commitment to your customer that we will always be open, which means we earn your trust by delivering incremental value every month, every year, as opposed to creating lock-in because we have proprietary formats, we feel that that's a much stronger bond that you establish with the customer. And in good times and in bad times, that serves you well. So that's been our pitch. It's been incredibly successful. Our performance speaks for itself.
Indeed, crossing the A's and dotting the I's, the right fit for the right need for your customers. We'll hit the pause button on this talk right now, but stay tuned. We'll be right back after this very short break.
CNBC-TV18 and Elastic present Forge the Future, elevating AI native enterprises in India with Search AI. CNBC-TV18 and Elastic present Forge the Future, elevating AI native enterprises in India with Search AI.
Welcome back to Forge the Future, elevating AI native enterprises in India with Search AI. We are in conversation with Ashutosh Kulkarni, the CEO of Elastic. Ash, getting back into the details of value, we covered the sort of broad strokes. Now, I want to understand from you, in terms of mission critical outcomes, how important is the role that you're playing, that Search AI is playing, to achieve outcomes around, say, operational resilience, faster time to insights, or AI enhanced search that you do anyhow. But in terms of mission critical outcomes, any examples that you could share?
Yeah, I think one of the most important mission critical areas where we get used is in cybersecurity. Our technology is used as one of the most capable, broadly deployed security analytics platform, or SIM, to help detect security vulnerabilities and threats and stop cyber attacks as they're happening, using AI to sift through all of the data, correlate signals, understand exactly what indicators in all of the data that you have represent the attacks that might be happening from sophisticated threat actors, and then helping you block and protect your data, protect your systems from those. So we get used a lot. Cybersecurity is over 25% of our business today, and we get used a lot across global organizations. Another very common use case for us is on operational resilience, helping customers understand the inefficiencies in their system that might be causing issues. So quickly diagnosing the root cause of issues, reducing the mean time to resolution so you can very quickly fix the problem that might be slowing down your application. It could be something as simple as somebody changed the access control for communication to your database server, because of which all of a sudden all your communication to the backend slowed down. That might not be very obvious to your site reliability engineers, but our system using AI can sift through all of the signals and tell you what the root causes might be. So we get used a lot in FSI organizations and telcos. And these are truly mission critical because, as you know, if a system is not available or if a system goes down because of a cyber attack, that is a huge problem for modern organizations. And we are very commonly used in those kinds of scenarios today.
Absolutely. So resilience and security, that comes as part of the package, which a sense helps reduce that insights to execution gap. Is it the right way that I formatted that statement?
I think you got it exactly right. Like at the end of the day, our platform is all about helping you gain insights from all of your data. Whether that's building a search application for various AI use cases, building agents, etc., or using one of our out-of-the-box solutions for observability and security to help you build that same kind of competency around cyber resilience, around operational resilience. That's what we're good at. That's what we're known for.
And that's the key word I want to focus on for my next question, resilience, because downtime is not an option for sectors like financial services, e-commerce, logistics.
Yep.
So how is your observability solution helping organizations have that performance, at the same time reliability, at the same time agility, when they say operate across different cloud environments? It can be multi-cloud, it can be hybrid cloud. How do you manage to do that?
We have some unique capabilities. We've solved some really complicated technological problems. One of them is what's often known as federated search. So imagine a major organization that has applications that are running on different cloud environments. Could be on AWS, some could be on Microsoft Azure, some could be on GCP. Our federated search functionality lets you do that. On top of that, the vector database capability that we have in our AI stack,
Which is serverless, I presume.
which is part, you can deploy it as serverless, you can deploy it in your own environment. There are various ways in which you can deploy it. That allows you to very quickly use AI to guide the user in understanding what the root cause might be and then coming up with a remediation plan. So it's truly not just a co-pilot, but it's like the angel over your shoulders helping you solve the problem in the fastest way possible. And that's why AI is so exciting. It's the greatest aid to humans that we've been able to create through technology.
All right, from this potential to reality, this journey that you've come so far, you've counted 55% of the of more than Fortune 500 companies as your clients. Now, that would have been quite an extraordinary journey to build this level of trust with such big companies. Now, the question I have for you is, what have been the learnings from this journey, and how does it apply, all the things that you've learned with these 55% of companies that work with you? How do you think it's going to apply to the Indian context?
There are some common sense principles that I have been able to glean through my own experience and through the collective experience of all of us elasticians that have been working with our customers. The first is, you have to put yourself in your customer's shoes, right? And what customers are dealing with is the fact that data is multiplying at a ridiculous rate. It's growing 10x every year, if not more, but your budgets aren't growing 10x. So technology somehow needs to be applied to help you deal with the need for analyzing and working with all of this data in a very cost-effective fashion. The second thing is, you need to think in terms of how do you use AI to drive both efficiency and a superior experience. Again, that means investing in better interactions with your customers, helping them learn the technology better, implementing this technology in such a way that every year, every month, they can get incremental value from it. That's been the big learning for us. And then the last thing is making sure that we are always true to our promise of openness. Because an enterprise customer really is making a huge bet on us when they choose our platform, because it's really hard for them to switch between platforms. So you have to take that trust very, very seriously and make sure that you're open so they don't feel locked in. And if you can achieve that, then that gives you the right to come back and keep asking for more trust to grow with them as they grow. And that's been our journey. That's been the secret of our success. It's been very simple, common sense stuff. It's people like to do business with people who actually care for them.
You're open in the true sense. Before we sign things off in this conversation, as organizations race to become AI native from being AI enabled, what excites you most about Elastic's role in this journey, especially when I look at India, which is an innovation-rich market, and there's a lot of potential to grow? What would you say?
The most exciting thing for me is the fact that AI is allowing you to automate things that were never automatable in the past. So this is a very, very exciting thing. And this has been the retrieval part, the search part that is so critical to AI. Because AI is meaningless without the context that your data brings to it. That search part, that's been our secret sauce all these years. So the world has somehow discovered this amazing thing that we always knew, which is that retrieval and search are the keys to success when it comes to data. Now, when I think about India, what is really, really exciting is, India has this massive population of highly trained, highly innovative, highly determined folks who truly want to leverage the latest and greatest to drive digitization, to get ahead of where we've come from. And that is so exciting because it means that folks here in India are willing to experiment, they're willing to take chances, they're willing to drive that much harder and use AI as a true differentiator. I grew up in this country. I've been living in the US now for the last 30 years, but I have seen waves of technology innovation here in India, every single time taking the country one level higher than it was in the prior generation. I think AI has the potential to take India to the next level, and we would love to be part of it. Personally, I would love to be somehow involved in that. It would be a great homecoming in some ways.
Indeed, and we would welcome you with open arms because here in India, we don't just take leaps, we take big leaps to progress. And well, as Indian enterprises accelerate their AI journeys, platforms like Elastic are proving that search isn't just a tool. It's the foundation for visibility, agility, and intelligence across the digital stack. Thank you so much for joining us, Ash, for this conversation. Great to speak with you.
Thank you very much for having me.
And thank you so much to our viewers for joining us here on CNBC-TV18 and Elastic Presents Forge the Future, elevating AI native enterprises in India with Search AI. Have a great day.
CNBC-TV18 and Elastic present Forge the Future, elevating AI native enterprises in India with Search AI.